year was 1944. The world was at war. Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy. Paris, after 4 long years of Nazi occupation, was finally free. And across the ocean, in a world still trembling with change, a child was born. In the heart of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, surrounded by the rhythm of drums, the warmth of the Caribbean sun, and the enduring spirit of his people, Jean-Claude Arbouet entered the world. That same year, audiences in America flocked to see Double Indemnity, a daring new kind of movie called film noir. Bing Crosby's Swinging on a Star played over the radio, lifting spirits when the world needed it most. It was a time of great uncertainty, but also great possibility. And from those early days in Haiti, Jean-Claude Arbouet's story would come to reflect that same spirit, a life of resilience, of purpose, of family, and of quiet strength. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and join us as we journey through the remarkable life of a man whose story began in a world at war, and whose legacy continues to bring light, love, and inspiration to those who know him.
Li men li vyen a maman, li men babèche la tichou, li men tèt li dak la maman, pou m'sa wè kote ma pet pied. Hier au soir m'dormi, rat la motte mwen nan pied, wè te maté a maman, pou m'kapab dormi soir. Hier au soir m'dormi, rat la motte mwen nan pied, wè te maté a maman, pou m'kapab dormi soir.
Okay, Dad, we're recording. Why don't you just start by telling me your name and where you're from?
My name is Jean-Claude Arbouet. I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I am 80 years old.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
Oh, I have two sisters and 3 brothers.
And what are your siblings' names?
Names are Guy Arbouet, Serge, and Fred Arbouet.
Don't forget Uncle Eddie. And what happened to Serge?
Serge died when he was 18 years old.
Although Jean-Claude grew up with very little, his childhood was filled with warmth, laughter, and the strong bond he shared with his 4 brothers and his sister. Life was not without heartbreak. In 1956, the family was shaken by the tragic loss of his brother Serge. Just 4 years later, in 1960, Jean-Claude endured another profound loss with the passing of his sister Giselle. These early joys and sorrows helped shape the resilience and quiet strength that would define the man he would become.
And what were the names of your parents?
My mother's name was Inez Bartley, maiden name, and my father's name was Athanase Arbouet.
Tell me a little bit about growing up in Haiti and what you did with your money.
We had a lot of fun. We did not need money to live in Haiti. As a matter of fact, if we had $1, that would last us a couple of months. We could go to the movie, do a lot of things with that dollar. It was Haitian dollar, not a US dollar. US dollar was just like, will take us longer to spend.
Wow. I've heard this story growing up a lot of times during dinner, but just tell me again the story about you and your brothers going to the swimming pool.
Oh, yes. My brother died. That's the one that died not too long ago. There's a place where there's a swimming pool, but you have to pay 1 penny to get there. We did not have the penny. So my brother told my older brother, Fred, said, okay, let's go swimming. And Fred said, we have no money. He said, don't worry, I will arrange for that. When they get there, and they went to the pool, and they swam, they had a lot of fun. Then after that, they have to pay the lady, they penny. They come out, and Guy arranged for Fred to start a fight with him, like on the word, disrespect him. Fred said hey guy, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to listen to you. And then the lady said, hey, I can't speak to your older brother like that. And they started not fighting, telling to each other words. And my brother, your younger one, started winning, and guy went after him. He didn't have to pay. We didn't pay the lady, we got it with murder. So that's how he did it.
Tell me about the time that you had to stretch money to buy food for the family. How did you guys do that exactly?
What? Oh yes, we have a bottle of cola, we put about a quarter or half of water, and we put a couple of ice in it, and that's good. If we have even the, if we have the egg, we put the egg, we put a little milk in the egg, we share it into 3 or 4 people, one egg. This is when I was in the way, we're full. And any little thing, we have something called acassan, which is cornmeal. We put milk in it, we buy a couple of biscuits. Biscuit is bread. We share, we trash it, we put it in there, and that's fill you up. So that was great. We didn't have money, but we're happy. We're very happy there. You don't need money to live there. Even when you go to the movie theater, it used to be a dime to go to the movie theater. And everything used to cost 1 penny or 2 penny.
When did your family decide to come to the United States?
Actually, I didn't want to come to the U.S. After I finished my high school or college, whatever it is, my uncle gave us a job in the country where I was making 110 Haitian dollars a month. That was a fortune. So I was doing of coming here. But in Haiti, there's always unrest. So my father didn't want us to stay there. We didn't want us to go into trouble with the government, because you have to be either for him or against him. You cannot be neutral. So my father said, no, you have to come to the guy said, why don't you come to the U.S.? So it took us about only 3 months to get our papers. So I had no choice. So I said, okay, let's come to the U.S. I said, I will come to the U.S. for a couple of years and go back home. A couple of years, 65 years later, I'm still here.
When did your family decide to come to the United States?
Oh, they came about 2 years, almost 1.5. My mother came before me. They came about 6 months before me. My father came about 6 months after us, after me.
What was your first job in the United States?
I worked in a hanger factory, making $1.25 an hour. It was a lot of money.
I remember one time after we ate dinner on a Sunday night, you told me that you and Uncle Fred had gone to get a job at the hanger factory, and Uncle Fred told them the biggest English word he ever knew to get the job. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. The guy, he went to the interview. The guy said, okay, what do you want? What can we do for you? He said, nothing. Because he didn't know any other word. The guy said, okay. So, And then the funny thing, Friday night, we would look to the factory to look for a job. So I wore my tie and suit, really dressed. And we went there, right? When I got there, they said, oh, I'm sorry, guys, we don't have anything. And we went back home. Guy told us, did you go for the interview? We said, yeah, we wear our tie. He said, no. You don't wear a tie and a suit to go for a job in the factory. The next day, we just like normal. And the old jacket is like that. We get it, okay, you are hired. But we thought, you have to go, you have to dress tie and suit, things like that. No, it doesn't work that way. And of course, I have a couple of my friends that come from Haiti also. They asked them, before I asked them, what do you work? Say, I work in the office. So what he does, he take it, carry with him a tie and a jacket. And then after work, he went to the bathroom, just put the tie jacket and walk out. One day, it was, after you finish working, you have to sweep the where you work. Outside also, right? And somebody saw him. So he was hiding, trying to hide. So they won't see him doing that. So we thought we thought you have to tell them, oh yeah, I work, in the office. It was a big thing. But my boss was, no. As well as do honest work, in this country, it's not the same like in Haiti. Haiti, you have to show that you work in it like you wear a tie. Here, anything like you do, if you do it like you work in a factory, that's good.
Did you go to school or college?
Oh, at the beginning I went to learn English. And I went like, in the evening school when I was working in the factory. And they told us, so let me go to college. I'd finished college in Haiti. So we went to, gosh, I forgot this school again, New York City Community College. So they check all our, what we forget, where we had high school diploma, so they translated for us. So I started there, while I was learning English. And while I was there, I got drafted.
Jean-Claude came to America in 1965, full of hope and determination. Just 2 years later, he was drafted into the United States Army. Welcome to America.
Oh, every 3 months, you send you 2 tokens. You go for an interview, right? And they ask you questions, things like that, whether you're eligible to be drafted to be in the army. And then one time, I received a letter, and they usually say 2 tokens, one to go for physical, one thing. Now, open the letter, there was 1 token. So I told Ruth, we were encouraged together. They made a mistake. They said 1 token to go. How am I supposed to get back? We're supposed to give it 2 tokens, 1 to go and 2 get back. I said, I don't know, let me ask somebody. And when we have somebody say, oh, that's when you are there, so you're not coming back. That's what I mean I'm not coming back. So when I went to Fort Hamilton, the same day, we spent the entire day, where I had lunch, things like that. I said, hey, it's fun to be in the service. And they tell me, what we're going to do. And then almost at the end, we had to take the oath. The oath, we had taken an oath, you take an oath to defend the United States against all enemy, foreign or domestic. If there is a war between your country and the United States, you have to defend the United States. That's your oath. So I thought it was fun in the army, I said, we had all that fun during the day, we had lunch, things like that. So they took us from the train, took us to South Carolina. And then I said, oh boy. Because after we became in Solana, they got started yelling at us for no reason at all. They said, now you are in the army. I said, but I didn't do anything to the guy. But the point is they have to yell at you. That's the way it is. And then in the evening, and the secretary said, okay, he has some work in the morning, right? He said he wants to be KP, he wants some KP work, he wants some volunteer for KP. I asked the guy next to me, I said, what's KP? Kitchen police. I said, great. I already raised my hand. A volunteer for kitchen police. I thought you were kitchen police, you dress like a policeman, Kitchen police. Kitchen police work in the kitchen at 4:30 in the morning, all day long. Cutting potatoes, cleaning, do all kind of things. So this is how I learned about kitchen police. That's a great thing.
When did you meet your friend Rango?
Oh, basic training. Basic training was the hardest thing we ever had. One of the hardest things. Get up early in the morning, they tell you when to go to bed, when to get up. When you get up early in the morning, and the point at the beginning, shower, you have 8 minutes to take a shower, to get ready. The first, when we get to Vietnam, I remember it was January 12, 1968. So we were seeing it was a Friday. So on Sunday we were playing the following week we were playing on the floor, sitting on the floor playing poker. He said, you know something, we've been here for about almost 2 weeks. We don't see any action. And then that same Tuesday, when January 3rd, 1968 was the 10th offensive. We're under attack. So he didn't make it that day. So it was actually at that Tuesday, we knew it was like we're not going to win the war. Because we knew, actually, let me go back again. When we were in jungle training, we were that the guy, the head of the North Vietnamese, Ho Chi Minh, he died. So we said, oh my gosh, that means the war is going to be over. So some of us said, oh my gosh, that means we're not going to Vietnam anymore. So I was not too happy. I said, okay, good, I don't have to go to war. But some of my friends were not too happy. Because all that training for nothing, it didn't make sense. But why am I going to use all that thing I learned in jungle training? It was we thought it was going to be over, but it was worse. So in January, we all learned that there are the two lists. One list is people going to Germany, one going to Vietnam. So we went to look at the list, Germany, and look at my name, Vietnam. So I guess I said, Vietnam? Oh, there's nothing to it. Anyway, I wanted to see what war was all about. Because I just watch movie, people crying. Say, oh, man, you're a soldier, what are you crying for? But we did not know what it was about. There are two different things, by the way, in training and the real thing. During jungle training, nobody tried to kill me. Nobody firing at us. But at war, this is a different thing, people will kill you. So you would you can't do it. It's not the same
Did you see a lot of action in Vietnam?
At the beginning, after the third offensive, yes. But actually the first 4 weeks, I didn't mind. But if I die, big deal. Because I was single. If I die, But the only thing we did every morning, I get up in the morning, I pray before we leave. At night, I pray. The only thing I was afraid of, I didn't want to be wounded. So my friends lost their leg, the arm, all kind of things. Say, Father, as a matter of fact, some of us, we carry 2 grenades. Just in case, I didn't want to be a prisoner of war. See, if something like that happened, we'll pull out the pen from the grenade. So after the 4 weeks, right, you didn't care, you used to it. The first 4 weeks, you were afraid to die. After that, it was normal.
You've noticed for years that there's weird scar on your back. Me and Kevin and Helene were wondering, is that a bullet wound?
I really don't know what it was. The only thing it might be a sharpened from a grenade, because when anything I remember, actually, when we were one time, at the end, in June, September, we were out, and then somebody said, grenade, so everybody just take cover. All I hear, we do all have jump on the ground, right? And then I didn't hear anything because you have a big sound. So last thing I knew, I found myself, I got up in a hospital bed. I don't know exactly, what it is like, So when I opened my eyes, I see that nurse looking at me. She kept giving my medication, right? And I said, oh my gosh, I made it. I did it. I'm in heaven. I thought she was an angel. And I told her, she smiled. She said, no, you're on earth. You're not in heaven. I thought I made it in heaven. So I thought, so I said, where I am? She said, you are in Okinawa. You are not Okinawa. You are in Kemzama, Japan.
He was wounded in action, a detail he kept private for many years. In 1969, he left Vietnam and completed his tour of duty in Okinawa, Japan. After his service, Jean-Claude returned home and began building a life. He met Ruth Prince, and together they began a life rooted in love and resilience. On Christmas Day, 1969, they were married, a new chapter marked by hope and promise. In 1971, they welcomed their first child, Michael. 2 years later, in 1973, their daughter Helene joined the family. That same year, Jean-Claude was honorably discharged from the Army, closing one chapter of service while opening another, one defined by family and responsibility. In 1977, their family grew once more with the birth of their third child, Kevin. The 80s and 90s passed by in a blur. The years moved quickly, marked by birthdays, milestones, and the quiet moments in between. As time went on, his children became parents themselves, and Jean-Claude and Ruth stepped into a new and joyful chapter of life. They were blessed with 7 grandchildren, each one a reminder that the legacy they built was still growing. And so, the story continues.